All right, for the review for Chapter 5 that we're going to do right before we take the test, on the day of the test, here we go. First of all, for graphing systems here, when I got y equals -2 is a horizontal line at y equals -2, like so. X equals -4 is a vertical line at -4 that looks like so, and you can see the point, which of course it would be x, y. Those points give me the answer anyway, but sure enough, -4, -2. Ooh, look at that, I almost missed that. And that's right in the problem, right? For this one, again, you're going to draw your y and your x, so I go up to +4 like this. I'm going to go down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2. There's my line, right? I've got this other one starts at -1 because that's my y-intercept, and I use my slope of 2 over 1, which means up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. We always go right. There it is right there. Point of intersection at 2, 3, right where they cross, right? I could plug it in to check. 4 minus 1 is 3, yup. -1 plus 4 is 3, yup. It works, okay? On to the next problem, plugging in x and y into the x and y, right? So 3 times 1 plus 2 times 6 equals 15. When you plug that in your calculator, sure enough, 3 plus 12 is 15. On the bottom one, 1 minus 6 equals -5. 1 minus 6 does indeed equal -5, so the answer here is yes, because I got 2 yeses. When I plug in the x and y here into the x and y for both of these, I get 4 equals, remember because that's y, x gets plugged in for x, and if you plug that into your calculator, sure enough, -6 plus 10 does equal 4. When I plug it into my other one, 2 times -3 minus 4, does that equal 2? It does not, because -6 minus 4 is -10. And so if that does not equal, then the answer is simply no. Okay? All right, moving on to solving for systems for substitution, right? So this is, again, y equals y, right? So I can plug in 6x minus 15 equals 4x minus 11 and start going through the motions to solve that problem, right? Like, for instance, minusing 4x to both sides, I just like to move my x first and make them positive if at all possible. That's just the way I roll. I'm going to get rid of my numbers next and divide. And remember that the solution is a point. Right, the solution is a point. It even says write as an ordered pair in your directions here. So when you get x equals 2, remember you're not done. You got to go back in and plug it into either one of these. So y equals 6 times 2 minus 15, and that gives me -3. And so I get the point 2, -3 as my solution. If I would have plugged 2 in here, I would have got the same. 4 times 2 is 8, minus 11 is -3. Okay? Right here, I'm going to get x equals y, so I can plug it in right here, or I could divide everything by 2 here and plug it in right there, but I'm just going to do what I got, which is that. So I get 2y equals -4 times y minus 3 minus 12, right? Don't forget about that minus 12 at the end. Distribute. And let's just double check to make sure, okay, those will just cancel, so 2y equals -4y, I think plus 0, and where people get confused here is when I add 4y to both sides, I get 6y equals 0, and I can still do that. I can divide and get 0, right? So when I plug that in, I'd get x equals 0 minus 3, so x equals -3, and there's my point. I can get 0 as a solution. Now let's just go double check, plug it into the other one. 2 times 0 is 0. -3 times -4 is positive 12, minus 12 is 0. It works, right? Good. Let's try the next one here. So no solution, 0 can be a solution, right? Next one, again, they set them equal to each other because it's y equals y. Bring the 3x to the other side because, again, I like to stay positive x. You get the steps, I hope, by now. Plug it back in, times 2 minus 8. 6 minus 8 is -2, so I get 2, -2. Right? I like to just double check. -6 plus 4 is -2. It works. Okay, let's go to the next one here. Plug in y in right here. So 2 times 2x minus 6 equals 4x minus 6. I distribute and get 4x minus 12 equals 4x minus 6. I'm bringing the x over because that's, again, always what I do first. And I see that it cancels on both sides. And when it cancels on both sides and they are equal to each other, it's IMS. But these are clearly not equal to each other. And so, with that being said, this is no solution, right? Again, if it's 0 equals 0 or 6 equals 6, then that would be IMS, right? But it's not, right? It's not IMS. They're not equal to each other. Moving along. other side. All right, we're running on about 10-minute time frame here. Elimination, right? Elimination means we're looking for something to eliminate. And in this problem, if I add those down, those eliminate right away. So I get 8x equals 32. I divide to get x equals 4. And I go back and plug it in. I'm just going to plug it into the top one because I see a minus and I like to avoid that. So that's a plus right there. Minus 20. I get 2y equals negative 2. And I divide to get negative 1. Okay? So I should get 4, negative 1. Let me just double check. So 20 minus 2 gives me 18. 12 plus 2 gives me 14. Sure enough, it works. Okay. Right here, nothing works to just be able to multiply. Either I can multiply this by negative 2, because a negative times a negative would give me a positive 2y there, or I think I'm just going to times it by 3, because I'd rather get the x's to cancel. It doesn't matter which one you do, but I see that right away, and so I went there. Now I'm going to add down again. Once you times it, that goes away, so you're only combining these lines, remember. Negative 5y equals negative 15. Divide. Y equals 3. Go back and plug it in. I don't really have a choice here. It's going to be gross no matter what, but I'm going to stick with the bottom one on this one just because it's less minuses and craziness. 3x minus 6 equals negative 12. Add 6 to both sides. 3x equals negative 6 and divide. X equals negative 3. Let me go back and check. So the answer should be negative 3, 3 because of x comma y, right? So negative 3, let's see, so 3 minus, well, that doesn't work. I did something wrong. Ugh. Okay, we're going to fix this together. Let's take a look at what I did wrong. So I had negative 3, negative 3, negative 3. Good. Cancel. Negative 5, negative 15. Divide to get positive 3. And I plug positive 3 in here. I get 6. I bring it over. Well, how in the heck, guys? It works for the second one. Why doesn't it work for this one? Why? I shouldn't be doing this because I should already know the answer, because negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. Stinker. So that's negative 2 right there. Right, because then when I plug it in, I get negative 6 minus 6 is negative 12. That works. And positive 2 minus 3 is negative 1. It works. Right? Just silly. Right here. Of course that's negative 2. If I had used my calculator instead of my head, I wouldn't have made that mistake. So make sure that you use your calculator. Just trying to, keep you on your toes. Let's try to get to the next one here without more mistakes. So let's times this by, I'm going to get the x's to cancel, so negative 2, I guess. So I got 4x minus 2y equals 6. I got negative 4x plus 2y equals negative 6, and I see everything canceling. And when that happens, it's IMS. They are equal to each other, right? If I had divided all of these by 2, I would have got 2x minus y equals 3. They're the same line. That means IMS every time. On this one, look, I already got opposites here, so those cancel. I can just add down, and they don't cancel, right? This is negative 3 plus 3 is 0. 2 plus 2 is 4. They didn't go away. Same thing when I get there. Divide to get y equals 4. And plug it back in. Try to get you there. Especially because if you go the other way and you get 0, like say you cancel like negative 1 times these lines and you get negative 6x equals 0, and you would divide and still get 0. That sometimes throws you guys off. You can get 0. If you get no x's, well then that's a different story, right? That's either IMS or no solution. But you can get x or y equals to 0, and it looks like it's going to show up a few times, right? All right. The next one is kind of like, hey, what do you want to use? You want to use elimination or substitution. And when you want to use substitution is when you have a simple one variable solve for, which I do right here. So 3x minus 10 minus 2x equals negative 6. Combine my like terms here. X minus 10 equals negative 6. And add 10 to both sides. I would divide if I needed to, but I don't here. I get that 4. I go back and plug it in right here. Y equals 3 times 4 minus 10. 12 minus 10 is 2. So I'm going to take 4, 2 as my solution. 2 minus 8 equals negative 6. 2 equals 12 minus 4, 10, excuse me. It works, okay? Moving on to the next one. I'm going to have to use elimination, and I'm going to have to do some multiplying here. I think I'm just going to go by 4 and 3, because then I'll get a 12 and a negative 12. I could have instead did 5 and 2, as long as one of them is negative, like 5 and negative 2, or negative 5 and 2. But I'm just going to work with a minus and a plus as it is. So 8x plus 12y equals 20. 15x minus 12y equals negative 66. Use my calculator and add down to get 23x equals negative 46. And that's okay. I'm going to get nice numbers. X equals negative 2. Go back and plug it in. 2 times negative 2 plus 3y equals 5, excuse me. Right into the first equation. On negative 4 plus 3y equals 5. Add 4 and divide. So I get negative 2, 3. Right? Negative 4 plus 9 equals 5. Negative 10 minus 12 equals negative 22. Yep, works out. Okay, last two problems. Again, because we're going to see stuff like this, 9 neighbors for $30 each was 30 times 9 to find out our total, which is $270. And then to find out how much I'm going to do here, I got 4 employees that I paid $40, so I'm going to minus 40 times 4, which is 160. I'm also buying some hot chocolate for y'all. 5 times 1.25 is another 625 we're going to take away. Okay? And then 5 donuts for 80 cents each. 80 cents each times 5 is $4. I didn't check my calculations here, so I hope I'm right. So 270 minus 160 is 110 minus, well, let's call this together, minus $10.25. We're going to be a little under $100, right? $99.75. Okay. Hopefully I got that right. Annalise, excuse me, runs X miles for 6 consecutive days. So Annalise runs 6 miles per day, right? Willie runs for 4 consecutive days, and the distance he travels, well, it tells me is 1, 1.5, 1, and 1.5, which is 5. You can add that up in your calculator, right? 2.5 and 2.5 is 5. All right, Annalise ran twice as many as Willie. Annabelle ran twice as many as Willie. So Annalise ran twice what Willie ran. We know Annalise was 6x. We know Willie is 5. I just plug it in. I get 6x equals 10 and divide by 6. And that's not going to be pretty. It's going to be x equals 1.6 repeating. It's not nice. That's not nice. Miles per day. That Annalise ran 1.6 miles per day. Yeah, that's a gross number, but that's okay. I would just take 1.6 or 1.7, and I'd be okay with that too. Okay? All right, a little over 13 on this review, but that's great because I wanted you to take about 20 minutes to work on this anyway, whether it was watching this video or trying to work through it on your own, and then checking your answers on that other document if you have that. Good luck on the test today, y'all. Have a good day.